Hi there. Today we're going to discuss the percent proportion. What will we learn today? Today we're going to use the percent proportion to find the percent, the part, or the whole. Our standards are that we're going to use proportional relationships to solve multi-step ratio and percent problems. The vocabulary we're going to need to know for today is percent proportion. Use the percent proportion. So when we're using the percent proportion, we're going to have to find either the percent, the part, or the whole. Examples of questions that ask you to find the percent is something like, what percent of 5 is 4? An example of trying to find the part, they would ask, what number is 80% of 5? And if they wanted you to find the whole, an example of how they would ask that is, 4 is 80% of what number? In a percent proportion, one ratio or fraction compares part of a quantity to the whole quantity. The other ratio is equivalent percent written as a fraction with the denominator of 100. So here's the first thing that they're talking about. This is the fraction that compares part over a whole. That's on the left. And on the right side, they talk about the percent fraction, which is basically a number over 100. To solve problems using the percent proportion, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to substitute the values into the proportion. Again, the proportion is part over whole equals percent out of 100. We're going to find the cross products. We're going to then multiply the cross products. Then we're going to divide each side by the coefficient, which is just the number multiplied by the variable. And then we're going to simplify. Some keywords to look for. Whenever I see the word is, I usually know that it means that's the part. If I see the word of, I know that's the whole. And if I see the percent symbol, I know that's the percent. So when I'm setting this up, I like to think of it as is over of equals percent over 100. Okay, so example 1, what percent of $15 is $9? So in words, this is what we have. And they're going to ask us, what is our variable? What are we looking for? Well, we're looking for percent. So we're going to call that N. And we call it N because, we use P for part. So our proportion is going to be 9, which is my part, which is my is, over my whole, which is 15, which is my of. And then percent we're looking for, so we're going to call that N, and that's over 100. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to write the proportion. Now we can start solving it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the cross products. And remember, the cross products in a proportion are equivalent. So we have 9 times 100 and then 15 times N. So they're like diagonal from each other. So now we can multiply our cross products. So 9 times 100 is 900. 15 times N is 15N. Our next step is to divide by the coefficient, which is the number being multiplied by the variable. So that's 15. So I'm going to divide both sides by 15. And in doing so, I'll get 15 divided by 15 is 1. So I'm left with N on the right side. And 900 divided by 15 is 60. So N equals 60. So $9 is about 60% of $15. Example number 2, what number is 40% of 120? All right, so here I am in words, and let's start talking about what is our unknown. Our unknown is my part, which is my is right here. So that's our P. And then we have our whole, which is 120, again by the word of. 40 is our percent because it has the symbol. So now we have the proportion P over 120 equals 40 over 100. Now we can find our cross products. So we have P times 100 and we have 120 times 40. Now I can multiply my cross products. So 100 times P is 100P and 120 times 40 is 4,800. Now I'm going to divide by the number multiplied by the variable. So the number multiplied by P is 100. So I'm going to divide both sides by 100. And what I'm left with is P on the left, because 100 divided by 100 is just 1. and 4,800 divided by 100 was just 48. So 48 is about 40% of 120. Example number 3. 18 is 25% of what number? So in words, we have this here. And the question is, what are we missing? We are missing our whole number. Again, it's by the word of. So let's substitute what we know. We know that 18 is our part because it's by the word is. We're missing our whole number, so we put a W. Our percent symbol is 25, so that's going to go on top of the 100. So now we have our proportion, 18W equals 25 over 100. Now we can do our cross products. So we have 18 times 100, and we have W times 25. Now we can multiply our cross products. 18 times 100 is 1800. W times 25 is 25W. Now I'm going to divide by the number multiplied by the variable, so that's 25. So I'm going to divide both sides by 25, and that equals 72. So 18 is 25% of 72. Example number 4, this is our last example. The average adult male Western Lowland gorilla eats about 33.5 pounds of fruit each day. How much food does the average adult male gorilla eat each day? So if we're looking at this, we know that 33.5 pounds is the part of everything that he eats in the day. We need to find the whole amount of food that he eats in the day. So we know that 33.5 is our part, W is our whole, and we looked at our table here and we know that our fruit is 67%. So it's 67 out of 100. Now that I have my proportion, I can write the cross products. So 33.5 times 100 and then W times 67. Now that we did that, we can multiply our cross product. So W times 67 is 67W. 33.5 times 100 is 3,350. Now I have to divide by the number that's being multiplied by the variable, and that's 67. So I'm going to divide both sides by 67, and I should get 50. So my whole is 50. So the average adult male eats 50 pounds of food each day. Today we use the percent proportion. I hope that video was helpful. Thank you. Bye.